Okay, green sanctuaries. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I guess the lighting is a lot brighter. My other computer is dying. Oh yeah, I killed another. So my computers are my helpers. Well, I had a casualty. I burned one out. Well, I've had it for like 2 years, I think. And I wasn't like heavily. I wasn't like gaming on it, which I don't do. Just regularly using it and burned it out. I think I have another one that's probably needs to be replaced too, but my backup has to be replaced also. Anyway, we're up and running overall, so that's why it's a little bit brighter than usual. Interesting, full energies there. So alien psyops, government remote viewers. I wonder why I do this stuff all the time is to, I don't know, just doing this type of, I don't know, when you're going against love and light, and love and light can be a psyop or an alien cult, which is many of those out there. Yeah, you gotta love it. Oh, I just get the funny thing about it is when you have an alien cult that's kind of criticizing another alien cult. I always like that one. That's a funny one. I know I get a laugh out of it. Or like the new space religion that we're having here. And there's a lot of that growing. I'm not going there though. But like I talked about yesterday about the like some feel like we're gonna have alien disclosure in the Blue Ridge Mountains, which is I don't know if that's gonna work. I doubt it. But there is a lot of government energy there. And who knows? There's also remote viewers, government remote viewers, and can they implant an idea into somebody like that's intuitive? I think it's possible, yeah. Do they do it often? Probably not. Of course, you never know about that. Of course, you have also dark entities. You have someone with their own. I mean, if a person has influence over others and they want some alien disclosure, they can tell themselves it's going to happen. And they can believe it and live in fantasy land. Of course, when we connect to their energies, the alien energies, it's like you're on drugs, basically. I mean, our world's on drugs, but maybe not for it's at a lower frequency compared to what they have. So it's with the real alien energies. There is definitely alien energies here for sure. And that's the frustrating part, but that's part of our growth. They don't interfere they do work here, definitely. And secret, of course. They're not always going to tell us. I think that's for the best, actually. So they have alien groups that are messing with our reality, and you have alien groups that are here to help our reality. And like, which is one is working? I don't know. Which they're just kind of going and clashing among each other. So, but the psyop energy is like putting the ideas of some kind of disclosure that might happen when actually nothing's going to happen. So that's kind of it's called growth. Those that are falling for it, it's a rough one. But also we have Starseed Ground Crew. Hopefully I spelled Starseed right. Here we got the idea. So there's different types of Starseed beings that are here to bring out more positive energies, and that's it. And that's cool. And then there are others that build an ego or have sexual issues or something like that and have to deal with their own. Because when you come from a higher frequency reality and you come here, so you have addictions in the higher dimensions and you come to this place and you bring your addictions here, it gets kind of complicated. So, but there is many that are here that are ground crew from different alien groups. And it's maybe over 1,000, maybe more than that. I mean, that's a lot anyway, but that's over 1,000. They're not always communicating with each other either. So basically, there's souls from some kind of alien group, like I would say an alien military. I know some don't want to use that word, but it's kind of like that. Or some kind of alien council. You don't have to look at it from a military point of view, but some are kind of military. It's just the way it is. Look what world you're coming to. Call it whatever you want. I mean, some are coming here just for mental health, to assist with that. Others are just here to bring their energy here. It's different levels of why you're here. Some will never know why they're here. They just know they're a starseed, and that's about all you're going to get. And I do have some jokes about the reptilians, but I don't want to make that public. They're kind of anyway. Some reptilian beings here are just, I don't know, whatever. They're it's always them causing difficulty though. It's like, you like to blame somebody else. But why is their fingerprints on everything? When you get like an astral attack, it's usually them. So it's like, is it somebody pretending to be them? A lot of times it's not. It's them. It's like, yeah, I think we have problems. When you're always the suspect, that's a problem. Yeah, as if you get it, I know this is bad, but it's like if you get an astral attack, why don't you get it from somebody else other than a reptilian being? Yeah, just welcoming that one. Okay, I'm not putting that out for others, but but it's usually a reptilian being, and usually they're kind of not that smart, and they have some parasitic energies. They're just doing what they're supposed to do. They're just doing what they're good at, and that's not a whole lot. But not all reptilians are like that. But the ones that are bringing oppression here, the ones that are keeping us locked down here for whatever reason, they have their because they drain off of our energy. They feed off of us, our frequencies. So obviously, there's much more to it than that. And also the tall whites, they're connected to some of the military bases around here or around the country, making sure we don't blow ourselves up. Because I think they've done that to their worlds a couple of times. So we're very similar to them in a lot of ways. And there's some tall whites that are being channeled talking about some kind of pole shift or anything like that. What should not happen? We're not seeing anything. And then they could be talking about that for next, solar flares and all of that. That's probably going to happen. It's probably, if it's going to happen, you probably can't predict it. So, like the monetary system, it's just a lot of that's just manipulation. Like our monetary system is going to change, and nothing ever comes of it. Kind of broken record on that one. But the alien Psyop frequencies, yeah. I mean, some are trying to manifest these timelines, like manifest the monetary change and so on. So, and it doesn't happen. That's a lesson. People wonder where they're getting their growth from, where they're figuring things out. But the remote viewer energy, I've felt it. I believe others have connected. Other people have felt like a government. Literally, a government remote viewer. I'm not looking for them. You just kind of feel them around. It's weird. You feel like they're sensing your. Doesn't mean they know who you are exactly, but they are feeling you out. A lot of them don't really know what they're doing, I don't think. A lot of them are kind of kids, like in their teens or early 20s. Some of the better ones aren't messing with you. They're doing other things, like remote viewing other planets and things like that. I'm not sure where that's going. Or making sure that this just comes to mind. So yeah, you talk about aliens abducting people, like the Greys, all right? I think people have heard this before, though, but what about military personnel being abducted for the things that they're doing? That's not exactly, like those are part of the Black Ops stuff that's kind of screwing with our world. The Greys definitely do. The Dark Rays, they abduct people all the time within the military. Not always that they're up to something, but it all depends. And there's reptilian abductions. I haven't heard about reptilian abductions very often. You don't hear about them around. They're probably not very good at it either. And if they are, they're really aggressive and just they're like amateurs. Whatever. It's the life of an alien being. Whatever. They're just, it's like somebody like me in high school, like they're 16, just can't get their act together. Like a bully. Okay, it's time to talk to comment pro sessions. We have a shop here. I forget where I'm at. I'm late as usual. Webinar tomorrow, social network behind the scenes. Okay, all right. So going to some make sure everything's working all right. Okay. I have a cat. I have a cat right next to me. Yeah, she's biting my foot. Ouch. Ow. She's gonna kill me. That's the best I can do. Hey, Fritzy. Okay, that was the end of that. I'm gonna just grow a tail. It's my bodyguard. Something like that. Okay, all right. That's the best I can do for a cameo there. If I do anything else, she'll just try to kill me. So, okay, all right. We do alien psyop energies. I guess we can take it to the remote viewer consciousness. Starseed ground crew, basically to connect to the starseed beings that are here, consciousness of that, and then tap into the tall whites and see what we get. So here we go. All right, blessings. Greetings, this is remote viewing consciousness. Much of your realize we're coming from a neutral point of view. Your government, well, they know people are not spiritually developed, so they use that to their advantage. As some of you are becoming very spiritually developed, and others are just going about what they see on television. But those of you that are going more spiritually developed, yes, you're kind of going in the pages of this reality. I mean, you might not know the full details, but you're getting more. Doesn't mean you're pulled into the conspiracy energies as many are. That's their growth, but basically just have an inner knowing of just, you don't have to know everything, but you just have an energy where you can be even visited by beings or anything for that matter. And they know they can connect to you without you freaking out. Others are just, they want disclosure, they want all these things, and they're kind of terrified of the alien energies. They're not always realizing it, at least the full depth of it. They feel like they have it figured out, but on a third dimensional level, it sounds nice, but they really haven't had a connection. It's because they're just not ready for it. They feel like they are, though. That's typical. And there's nothing wrong with wanting it, but there's still an understanding of what you're getting yourself into. The government frequencies here, the psyops, a lot of that is just those that are tapping into those energies or just those manipulations. They're just, yeah, it's part of their growth. It is like it's like it's in their auras and their chakras, like almost like a hole for deception to come in, and it can fuel the ego. And if like you say things that gets everyone's attention, like something wild, like when the world's going to come to an end, and everyone's like, "Whoa, that's pretty neat," when it actually doesn't go in. It's just that feeling. When they talk about disclosure, they like that vibe it puts out there. It doesn't mean it has to be accurate, but it's like a high. And some get pulled into it. Yes, it's difficult to fully understand, just when they're going through it. Well, because you feel that, especially if you have a large following, you feel like people want to hear it, and you deliver. It's like, oh yes, alien disclosure will happen sometime soon, and then you feel the high from your audience, and yes, you can suck that energy in, and even weaponize it. It just people aren't aware, yes, who you're giving your power to, and many just do it on a zombie level. They just literally just do it. It's not. They're just not aware. They're not ready. There's just they just feel like it's all. It can be very simple, and technically it can be, but there's still some complexity. Where you're connecting to an alien race, and your race is still at a lower frequency due to the climate of your planet, the fights, the wars that are going on here. So you're a war planet, as many of you know. Not that you want to have that negative energy with you, but it's around. And then you connect to a peaceful alien species that doesn't even connect to war. Now there are some alien beings that can be involved with war, but those wars don't last very long either. It's like maybe one war every couple of years, or maybe once a year, or as well as skirmishes. They have a better connection to it. They just, they have a little problem and then they clear it. Others get pulled into it in the fourth dimension, where it's actually worse in your reality. So yes, you have all these secret space program realities that people are conjuring up. And those realities are thickening a lot of your negativity around here, around this planet. So it makes it harder for this world to come out of it. So remote viewers can influence certain individuals, yes, but mostly they just, as they call it, view. But they're not always sure what they're picking up on either. Like even your government can't figure out stuff, especially when you see like a squid being from another planet. It's like, what are we tapping into now? Because many of you in your awakening, the government's going through it too, but these are small agencies, and of course they will never say anything. I believe it was a CIA connection, stare at goats or something like that. Operation Stare at Goats, something like that, where they're developing their psychic abilities. There are many projects like that are happening just private. They made some of it public, but most of it, stare at goats, something like that. Those projects still exist. And there's still, it's like a weird part of government. But you have others that actually connect to aliens, which is very small. You have others that are trying to develop psychic abilities, and they can, connect to remote viewing. They have no idea what they're getting themselves into. They have more questions than answers. But like I said, some of this remote viewing helped them, kind of like with security, like other foreign countries, they get some better idea, at least the negativity, the energies that they're connecting to, like to believe a government official or not, things like that. That's what they use remote viewing for. That's part of it. And others, missiles and things of that kind. They kind of get somewhere with it, but not always. So, what's this? Green Sea, we are star seed consciousness, Palladian, Syrian, Arturian, Fandorian, all energy beings, without naming everything. Yes, maybe do give your it's like for some of you, this is you can see it as school. Technically, this world is school. It's basically the Earth school. Basically, there's many star seed beings that come here that have been kind of just misbehaving in other realities. So they come here not as a discipline, but basically to get their act together. Some of you might be able to pick up on some of this. There's different classes of starseed beings. There's some that just can't get their act together. That's why they're here. Others of you are trying to bring some order out of chaos with the starseed beings that came here. I kind of deal with other starseed beings. I feel like they're helping the world, but they're actually making things worse. There's a lot of that going on. And then there are other starseed beings that are more observers. They're very quiet. They don't connect to anyone. They just watch. And yes, they do connect to their continuum. You can say their councils, but a lot of times they're not here to make themselves known for various different reasons. But there are starseed beings. I feel like they have it all figured out. Some of you actually met them. And they feel like they can raise the Earth's vibration. Everything's going to be, it's like a hippie that's misguided. And there's a lot of that here. Yes, they tell you all these fantastic stories and all this, but they can't get their life in order. So they have all this knowledge, but they still have a lot to learn. And some of them can mean well. Yes, not all of them, but some of them. Yeah, it's all different. Yeah, it's a weird one. So tapping into their frequencies, there's diverse groups of starseed ground crew. Some are just so misguided. Some are dealing with the Earth ego. A lot of them are just sent here for, I wouldn't call it disciplinary reasons, but some are sent here to cause difficulty, actually, to recruit more to their groups. Yes, like alien recruiting. Maybe not for the best intentions. Yes, it gets kind of weird there, doesn't it? Some of you have seen this. And it's others that feel like they manipulated other worlds. Why not come here and do it? I mean, this is the world. This is the target. This is the easy target because the Earth's vibrations are so low. Humans don't know. They can't always see beyond, the message. They always can't see the manipulation that's going on. So that's why the alien groups come here, because it's easy. Well, because they recruit for their groups. And so, there's a hive mind energy there. They take those that are naive or just completely lost. And it's just as easy. It's kind of like a fish net. You just throw your net out there, put your message out there, and others will come. Just like that. As some of you have seen. So I give you some awareness of how this all works. Why is anyone? Well, some of these groups are very powerful. And so that's why they have a heavy presence on their world. They know they can do it no matter all the scandals. It doesn't really matter. They still do whatever they feel like. Now, are they going to go away or anything like that? Well, it's up to the human race to remove that. It's kind of like government. Once the corruption's there, it's hard to get rid of it. Doesn't mean you can't be getting rid of it. Well, sometimes they fade out. Then they connect to other groups. Greetings via the Tall White Council, Tall White Frequency. Yes, many tall whites do not like the humans of your world. Of course, many of your humans of your world don't like the tall whites. So it's not that we're all just have a difference of opinion. Many tall whites, I think this was mentioned here before, yes, have sometimes the worst humor ever. Like it's so plain, dry, and just almost deadpan or dead humor altogether. They just don't have one. I mean, they laugh at their horrible jokes. So they might find a tall white within yourself. Doesn't mean you're a full tall white being. But there's also different tall white energies. Yes, different, right? Yeah, black and Asian. Also, there's different types of tall. It's just called tall whites for. It's a way for your world to identify the energy. Keep it simple for you. Let's put it that way. You can call it whatever word you want to basically connect to the energy signature of the tall white frequencies. Tall white beings, yes, the military base energies, of course, is going to be a presence there because it's what your world's capable of. So as many of you know, this world is capable of a lot of destruction of itself, and the idea is to keep this world here. So yes, this world might be out of control, but the idea is to keep it here because, like, if it removes all the nuclear weapons, removes all of this, then you can have more of an alien contact. Technically, not to say you need to be waiting by your, waiting for us to show up or anything like that, but it would make things easier. But due to the severity of the decisions made here, it's basically a silence for now, at least. I mean, there's always going to be some alien contact of some on an individual level, of course. It's up to you what you want to believe. Many are still healing themselves. Many have been through a lot of trauma and have not. It's like they don't know what to believe because they haven't healed themselves. They haven't. There's like a deep wound there, and it's not something you heal overnight. And they know that, but at least they're trying to get some help and encouragement direction, even if their energy is kind of all over the place, which many do have that. Some have a toxic frequency due to the traumas or due to alien lifetimes. And many do. When you leave this world, when you exit, you leave a lot of that trauma here. It's like, but then you incarnate, it can all come back. So just letting you know, if you do, plan on leaving this world, that's fine. But if you plan on coming back in the future, you have to kind of clear that frequency out before you enter. Some forget about it, literally, astral beings like, oh, I can handle it. And they incarnate here and their past is haunting them. So our frequencies here is to bring a friendly energy. Basically, you say for government energies to become less, just more grown up. Let's put it that way. Many just have so many agendas and they won't let it up. Yeah, it's like, it's high school. You're all conspiring against each other. Not you're regular humans. You are, even there's NPC people, whoever. Most of you are not here to cause any difficulties, really. And others, there's manipulations to test society, of course. But the government agencies have really gone to a level of, like of a 12-year-old capacity of mental thinking or worse or younger. But usually it's around, a lot of ego, a lot of lost direction. Now, it's not all military, but it's the leaders. It's like they get to a level of power and they go insane. Some of them do. You see that, but then some celebrities go crazy after a while. Like they have too much power and they turn into somebody else. So you're seeing that kind of like with your military frequency. Yes, they don't care what and the military is aware of your whole Psyop with your presidency, of course. At least the Psyop or your black projects or your Psyop projects. They know about it, of course. Now, who's doing it? We can't even go into detail of that. Just go by your intention, your intuitive connect. There's different things we can't talk about. We really can't. You just go by how you see things. We just did as far as we can go with it. It's like it's a touchy subject, as some of you could probably feel. It's like when you get the heart of it, yes, it goes off world. It gets very touchy. Because when you get to like the ignorance of your governmental intentions, it gets more and more childish. Not to say children are incompetent, not at all. But basically, your adult teenagers here that are running your planet, have gotten so lost with their own fantasy world. How you feel like humanity is lost in their own way of looking at things. That's in government too. A lot of them are really twisted. Some government agency literally feel like they're fighting alien forces. Technically you are, but not really. They're really gone that. China thinks that. Part of the U.S. thinks that too. It's mostly China though. That's what I could pick up on. So for you to, so your own energy field, your own Just to feel like you're not that. Some of you feel like you're crazy, but you probably aren't. Then, of course, some are, but most of you are not. And just connecting more to your inner power. Yes, there's a lot of secrecy here for obvious reasons. Some of you can get to Akashic knowledge here very easily, but the world is not there yet. So it's like, why put yourself into a more advanced level when the world isn't ready for what you can tap into? You are doing what you can to survive, because you can go crazy yourself. You can have too much information. That's why sometimes less is more. As some of you know, you have some idea. Like you feel it. You feel there's more, and you feel, and that's good enough. Feelings are powerful. So that's nice.